Hello, thank you for joining us today. I call the January 18th meeting of the Human Rights Commission to order. Let's begin with an introduction of commission members, please, starting with Tamba.
Yeah, Thomas Saw, Commissioner Member.
Cheryl Shavel, Commissioner Member.
Cody Severson, Chair of the Commission.
Carolyn B. Kraft, Commission Member.
Kristen Nelson, Commission Member.
Zoe Apsey, Commission Member.
Thank you, folks. Next up, we will go in. The next item is to approve the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve it, please?
So move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, and then we do not, with Ahmed being out on paternity leave, we do not have minutes to approve from the last meeting. We'll wait until February 21st to approve those meetings. That's okay with folks? Okay. Okay. Then we will just hop into number 4, recap of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration we had on Monday, which I think went pretty well. We had a large attendance there. We had the 3 awards. Dr. Hogan, did you want to say anything about the event?
The event within itself was a beautiful event. It is getting better and better each and every year. And we're looking to do some bigger and better things as of next year. But we just want to just thank everybody for taking the time, out of their busy schedule, to come out on a very, very cold evening and to be part of this.
Thank you. And yeah, it was a fantastic collaboration with Fred's Dissonance, I think, to be able to collaborate and put that together. The 3 award winners, we had Connie Aiden as the adult, then we had Skylar Skis as the youth, and we had Fuse, yep, Families United for Self-Empowerment as the organizational winner, and that was really fun to see. And then so many, I know North High, Davies High, and I think South High had representation there, and that was really good. Yeah, looking forward to another impressive celebration next year. Next year, yeah. Okay. With that, we wanted to make as much time as possible to have a conversation about the arbors at McCormick Park. First off, there is a organization that's over there called Life Cares United, headed by Katrina. Happy birthday, Katrina. Where is she? Oh, where's she? I will repeat that in a few minutes then. Okay. That's fine. So we had Sarah Bagley from Chisholm here a couple months back to talk to us about how they've been able to improve and just what they've done taking over that space. And so we also wanted to have the perspective of the residents who live there to be able to come here and just give their perspective so we can have a more informed conversation about what it looks like and how to be good community partners and so on and like that. So I guess the goal here today is that we want to hear from the residents there and just inform the conversation moving forward with community partners like Fargo Cass Public Health, the Chisholm Housing Group, and Fargo Police Department and things in places like that to know just how we can have the best, safest environment. Katrina, with you being back here, happy birthday. That's great. It's a good celebration.
Thank you.
Yeah. And with that, yeah, we'll just, with knowing that it's, this is more so for us to gain your perspective so we can have a discussion moving forward about how to just make it the safest, healthiest place it can be. We might not engage in a lot of dialogue, but just hearing your perspective is what we want to do right now. So I'll hand it over to you for the time being, and if you want to go through that stuff.
Well, first I want to say thank you for giving a platform for this to happen. I feel like it's been a long time coming, and this is going to be a productive and positive engagement today. And the focus really is a happy, health, and safe neighborhood. So with that being said, I am Katrina Robinson. I am the Executive Director of Life Care Unites Foundation. Life Care Unites Foundation is a service provider to those experiencing hardships from the pandemic and homelessness. We offer completely free essential needs shopping. We put on pop-up hot meal events and also community engagement activities. The organization itself is founded by our 4 children. That when the pandemic started, it was a direct response from their heart. They said, "We don't want people to have nothing. They just want to help people where they are." And that's exactly what we've been doing over this 3-year period through our unique partnership with Chisholm Housing Group and the management team at the Arbors of McCormick Park. Myself and my vice president, Jeremy Robinson, have done the best we can to first meet people at the human level, show respect, show kindness, show patience, learn about the people we serve, be open and honest, and make real connections to show that somebody likes you, somebody loves you, somebody thanks you and thinks high of you. I don't want to go into too much more about what we do because the focus today is for the Arbors community. So I will just go ahead and say that I'm so proud of the people who could make it because there were about 25 others who really did want to be here, but childcare and life circumstances kept them from being here in person. But I'm so proud for the people who could come here to tell their truth, their experience, and share what they feel and what they know will keep their community happy, safe, and healthy. So I want to give a big round of thank you applause to the residents who've come from the Arbors at McCormick Park. I'm just looking at our agenda that was so nicely printed out for me. Thank you. So, observations of living conditions has been a big issue for residents. I want to go ahead and turn over the floor to our residents. I would like to go ahead and have them announce themselves, and they can tell you how long they've lived at the Arbors community. So, who's gonna go first? Come on, all of you then. We've got Courtney, we've got Katie, we've got Natasha, we also have Ashley. Get on up
introduce
here,
ourselves.
Ashley. It's the price is right.
I'm not winning anything. This isn't
Where's
fair.
the money?
Yeah.
All right. So, first, we want to talk about how the living conditions have been after you announce yourselves and tell how long you've been Arbors.
I'm Natasha. I've been living at the Arbors for a little over a year now. Yeah.
I'm Courtney. I've been living at the Arbors for going on 3 years now.
I'm Katie. I've been there for a year.
Sorry, I'm Ashley, and I've been there for a year.
All right, so who wants to go first with their experiences with living conditions?
You should go first. No, you've been here long. You've been there longer. Well, I think that if there was more community involvement with people that live there, there would be a lot less chaos, more activities for the kids. I just feel as a parent, I cannot keep my kids safe enough there. No matter how much I try, I feel like I'm being boxed in. My kids, they do not want to go outside and play because they get bullied. And there's a lot of fights that happen. And as a parent, it sucks because there's only so much you can do to try to protect your kids. And I think if there was more positive activities and things to do and more support, then I think it would be a lot better for not only the adults, but definitely the children. I really don't know what else to say. I'm freezing up. So next.
What things have made you apprehensive to have your children go and play in the community?
There's a bunch of drugs, and
And
my
gang
3-year-old, 2-year-old at the time, found a heroin needle and picked it up. And, it's not safe there, and I don't want my kids to have to live in that environment. If I'm going to pay to live somewhere, I want to be able to have a safe environment for my kids to live in. And it's just not safe.
I feel the same way. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old, and in the hallways, I actually work for Community Options. I'm a peer support specialist, so I get access to sharps containers and other things like Narcan, and I have tried to put them in the hallways. I have found needles. I've found baggies of meth. I found heroin foilies. The people,
Yep.
like,
Toil all of the
you know,
buildings.
and I had a service dog who was just a puppy and was definitely trying to eat those things. Like, that is not safe for my children. This is in the hallways. People are leaving the doors propped all the time. There's,
Somebody left a fentanyl pill. My dog almost picked it up a couple weeks ago, and I had to call the cops to have them come grab it.
and then last summer, this last summer, there was a bullet hole. I live in the 3rd floor. There was a bullet hole in the 2nd floor window because there were people outside in the middle of the night screaming around, young kids shooting guns. They have no
4th of July
idea
was
what they're
horrible.
doing, you know, and like I've made several police reports. The snow removal is horrible. I scrape my van every time I go to park. Like, half the time I don't even want to park, but I can't park on the street because I'll get towed. Now, like, I definitely think there should be more police involvement. I think there should be more
Security cameras.
I definitely think there should be security cameras, and the security cameras that we do have, I think should go directly, like a live feed directly to the police department, because when you do call the police, it takes them 45 minutes to get there.
And by the time they get there, it's pointless.
And by the time they get there, it is pointless. Like, yes, they've been doing walkthroughs. I haven't seen them in the last couple weeks. I work from home, and you know, like, they just do walkthroughs here and there, and that's not enough. I mean, like, I brought my kids to the park one time while I was pregnant with my daughter, and I found baggies and more baggies and razor blades in the park. Like, that is not okay. And there are certain tenants there that are making this ridiculous. Like, in my hallway right now on the 2nd landing, there's a bag of garbage, and it is from the 2nd tenant in on the right side. Like, there are people there that don't care. And there's a lot of people there that need to be there, but there's a lot of things that need to be weeded out and worked out. Like, you know, like, I'm currently looking for a new position due to a lot of restructuring going on. And I think if the company itself had peer support and care coordination, I think that would be a really great idea. And I would be the first one to sign up. I would go get my care coordinator's certificate just to do so. Especially coming from somebody that lives there, I think that would be a very important thing to establish.
What about the traffic from people who don't live there?
Oh yeah, there's traffic from a lot of people that don't live there now. In my building, it's not as bad as other buildings, but in the middle of the night,
My building, it's horrible. They on the
like, they break the security doors.
Yeah, they've been fixed. Just got fixed this past summer.
Yeah,
They've been
they
breaking
just-
into the boiler room, smoking fentanyl and shooting up heroin and Lord knows what else. And when they do that, they shut off the hot water to the whole building and the lights. And I go days or all day without water or heat because they want to keep messing with stuff.
Or they get
And
into
it's
a fight
very
with the
dangerous to be
alarms.
doing that in a boiler room because the whole building can blow if they do it wrong.
And like, that's the thing. I had a C-section for my daughter. This was 6 months ago, and these people that are all messed up are pulling the fire alarm at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I got a huge infection and was hospitalized for a week. Now, like, the snow removal process, I know we're working on that, and that's great. Last year I ended up slipping and falling, and it was more than a couple times, and I was like 8 months pregnant. That is not what I want to do. Like, you know, like, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people that need help, but I think the people that don't care and are just using the system, I think they need to be weeded out for sure. Now, when it comes down to it, I know that a lot of people have addiction issues and a lot of people have alcohol issues, and I know, like, I've walked into my apartment door and there are people nodding out, standing right in front of the door.
And you threaten to kick them out and they threaten
You
to
know,
stab you.
and like, I've literally been threatened several times. I have a neighbor who literally protected me the whole time after I moved in there, and now he's hardly there. So it really worries me. Like, I'd have an extra lock on my door because I don't want my child to get out. Like, you know, I have a 3-year-old. I go to take a shower. He's running around. You know, I have a 6-month-old. She's doing her own thing. You know, the thing is I have to put an extra lock on my door so he doesn't get out. You know, because it is a dangerous environment for him to be in. You know, and there's all these kids that are out there bullying everybody. Like I know a grown man who got robbed for his shoes and his jewelry and his whatever he had on him. And he was a grown man that got mobbed by like 10 kids.
Yeah,
You
there
know-
was an adult male that actually attacked my 12-year-old boy, and then proceeded to attack me 3 days later. And and it's crazy because my kids have been assaulted multiple times living there, and a lot of it's from the parents not working with their kids. But it would help if a lot of those parents weren't doing drugs in the hallways or in their apartments or outside where everybody can see them. I found a needle full of, I'm going to assume heroin, a month or two back, right in front of my door. And then even I have a camera on my door, and I still catch people selling drugs, doing drugs, everything. And there's only, I've sent it all to the office, I've sent it all to Fargo PD, and there's only so much they can do because they're not there at the moment. But
I've submitted so many videos into evidence to the police department, and nothing seemed to get done.
And that's
way either.
exactly it. Like the police aren't doing what they can do. And I mean, I get after the shooting that happened this summer, like there's a lot of like hesitation for a lot of things, but
You still got to do your job.
right. But this is a bad community and we need help. Like I'm a single mother. I have 2 children, and yes, I have a prior drug use history, but that's why I'm a peer support specialist. Like I have done everything that I can do to be active in this community, and I think it needs help seriously, and that's why we're here. I really do wish that you guys put something together and make something happen, because I really do want my kids to play outside.
And
You know what I mean? Like they deserve to play outside and not be stuck in my apartment because I don't feel like it's safe and there's people screaming all night long.
Yep, and when you have 3 children that they get woken up in the middle of the night, say 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, because they want to run up and down the steps, smoke or drink in the hallway, slam doors nonstop, and then you tell them to stop, and then they want to hit you in the face, or say they're going to murder you or something
Or
like
people
that.
hanging out their windows screaming. Like it's not a good situation. Like this is.
Yeah.
I have been on the reservation plenty of times. Okay, like I know what the reservation is like, and the reservation, even White Earth Reservation, which is like probably the worst one to come by, is less hectic, and I would let my kids play outside there. Out here, I will not. That says a lot to me, and like when it comes down to it, I want my kids to feel safe. And I don't feel safe for my children. Like when I get out of my car, I walk directly up my stairs and I lock my car. I make sure there is nobody following me. I have to make sure of that because I don't know if, like, I lock my door when I go down to start my car because I don't know if there's going to be somebody in there from sleeping in the hallway to go into my apartment. I've been robbed, and that is why I had to put something else on my door so my door can't be knifed. Like this is serious stuff. Like that was my kid's piggy bank that I've been saving for 2 years. I have to start all over on that. Like that is not okay because people want to just break in and do whatever. Like there are people that really don't care. And there are people that lock their kids out for hours at a time because they're doing whatever they're doing on the second floor. And these kids are in the hallway.
Yeah, you have kids screaming, saying, "Let me in, help me!" Like.
Right.
This was
and their
going on the
parents
other
don't-
day, yesterday or the day before, and my daughter was like, "Mommy, do you hear that?" I'm like, "What?" She goes, "There's a kid saying, 'Help me,' in the hallway." They just put the kid outside so they can do what they can do, and then they let the kid back in when they're done.
I can add a personal perspective on the interactions with children. There needs to be something to keep those children progressively busy, because I've witnessed a child get attacked, run down into a building, and kicked in his forehead with a boot, and it left an imprint. He had a bloody nose, and he was too frightened to go tell anyone to talk to the paramedics.
And now he's the one bullying my
His father
kid.
said absolutely no police, no nothing, and the children are being put into perpetual traumas. Do you have things to share about the mental well-being?
They're
of the
starting to act like the adults there.
Well, yeah,
They think that, oh, they're doing this, so we're going to go around and cause havoc
And
too.
that's exactly it.
You
There was
know?
a lady the other day who, and this was a lady, I don't think she lives in the building. She was there visiting somebody. And there was a lady who This little girl was riding her bike and literally shoved her as hard as she could off of her bike and stole her bike and rode off. Now, there's also a guy there who used to be an ex-client at Community Options, and he harasses me, like he stalks me. He tries to figure out where I am at just because I am not receiving child support. Like, that is none of his business. And I've literally been stalked by this guy. That is why I am nervous. Like, this is my home.
Yeah, and then like with mental health, I mean,
PTSD
Yeah,
or anxiety and depression.
it gets worse living there. Like, I mean, I have PTSD, I have anxiety, and living there, like, since, like, I've lived in low income plenty of times. I've lived in the ghetto. I've never dealt with what I do with him. My kids have cried numerous times because they can't go outside. They can't play outside. And I'm not gonna go outside in the winter, it's cold. But like in the summertime, even then, like, we can't go outside because we get targeted because we call the police on everything that's going on, and then we get targeted because we're snitches or whatever, and like, so we're stuck inside all day every day. Like, the most I'll walk to her apartment, and like, we're stuck inside all day because of this, because my kids' mental health is deteriorating. Like, they've gone through more therapy in the past year we've lived here than they've gone through in their whole life.
I had to get me and my children into therapy, and with therapy, something I'm very reluctant on. Like, I don't like therapy. I will not go. I've had to do it so many times growing up because of all the therapists I've had to see. And my son and my daughter, and now I do not want my kids going to public schools here either. I'm about to get my son signed up for homeschooling because he is not safe at that school that he goes to. They tell me all the time how much they don't want to be here, and it breaks my heart because there's so much I can do. I want to go back home, but I can't because it's too expensive. My kids are not happy. None of the kids there are happy, I do believe, and we definitely need better security doors and better security all around.
And better, like, stuff for the community. I would like a lot of the stuff to aim towards the children, because the children, there are, like I said, children with parents that have addictions. And I mean, I grew up with a father that had an addiction problem, and I know how hard that was on me, and it caused a lot of, I was acting out because, I wasn't getting the attention from my father. So these kids need more. They need people that love them, that want to be with them all the time, that want to spend time with them, because it's not fair. It's not their fault that their parents are the way they are. Nope. And and I feel so bad because a lot of these kids, I mean, I've taken in some children from around the area because they're safe at my house. They're not safe at their own house. And that's so sad because, they don't know what to do. And it's awful. I would love there to be like more mental health, like people actually able to come to the arbors and talk to the children there, because some parents don't drive, or more community. Like, I mean, there are wonderful, like, people in the community. Like, there's Nexus Path, who's great with children.
They're awesome.
Love them. I've been working with them for, I think, 5 years now. And then, like, just anything that I want stuff to be, I know as adults, we need help too, but these children deserve it more than we do.
But unless we get the help as well, we can't be there for our children.
Exactly, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So that's where I think peer support and care coordination should definitely be intertwined at the arbors. I think that's a really good idea. Due to peer supports can also do family peer support, and they can do a lot of different things and a lot of different resources. I mean, yes, we have a food shelf. Yes, we have clothing donations. Yes, we have, people that come in and take the kids to church, like, that's all good things. But necessarily, like, with peer support, you meet people where they are. You help them become better people in the community and actually help them function. Mandated reporting isn't really something we do all the time unless it's like super dangerous. Like, if I see a kid sucking on a crack pipe, like, yeah, I'm gonna call CPS. But like, necessarily something needs to happen. Like, I want my kids to play outside. I want them to be able to have little riding vehicles that don't get stolen and broken by every other kid there. I want my kids to be able to be okay playing at the park and not shoved around because he is white and native. you know, and like, it's not all about race. It's not all about gender. It's not all about like who your parents are, but it's like how these kids don't have outlets to wear off that energy, and then it becomes so much energy that it's just demolishing and dangerous. And
Well, when they don't have
lash
parents
out to
that care or
everybody
want to
else.
protect them, they're gonna act out and do what they want.
And that's exactly it. Like half of the parents don't really care. And
There's two things that I'm hoping that y'all can speak about. I understand it might be triggering, so just share what you can.
Yep.
But I know a big concern where we don't want a repeat of things that happened last summer. I would like you all to expound on how that affected the safety and healthiness and happiness of the community.
4th of July. Is that what we're talking about?
Just,
Yeah.
yep.
When about 2 weeks before 4th of July even hit, they were already popping off fireworks. They were getting popped off out my window, like at my window,
same.
all hours of the night. And people were pissing by my window. Sorry for my language. There was an older man that I had recorded and sent to the police that literally dropped trowel in front of my children outside of my window and peed.
And the shooting.
And
well,
the shootings that happened all hours of the
The
night.
shooting happened right in front of me. It was blank bullets.
There was
but
guns
They were
going
mad
off
because
right by my son's window.
we were white hanging out with. Yeah.
And that's exactly it. Like not all of them are blank. Like I said, there was a bullet that went through my neighbor's apartment window,
That
you
was-
know, and so now I keep my kids away from my window.
It's scary.
All of them.
We all sleep against windows. Like every single room has a
They
window.
found 2 or
It's
3
terrifying.
casings outside of my son's window because somebody had just shot one off and then ran.
And then all the overdoses, like there was at least
There was 3 or
5 to
4.
10 overdoses in like that complex area this last summer. You know,
And like she
that's-
said earlier,
that's
people just
big.
nodding out in the hallways. Like,
Yep.
it's so bad.
I think the drug use gets worse in the summer
And
than
the
it does in the winter.
conditions that we have to live in, period, the filth, everything is not. Nobody should have to pay rent that has to live in these conditions, in my
I
opinion.
mean, and they're
Like, it's disgusting.
and it's from the people that don't live there.
Don't get me wrong. In the first couple weeks in the summer, they were cleaning it out every week or so. It was really nice.
And that
We
was
had a
great.
good cleanup.
Yeah.
But we can't keep, and I get it, they can't keep up with all the junkies that come in and decide that they're going to camp out in the stairwell. Like they can't keep up with that. And I understand that. And they have so many other buildings that they try to keep up with. And
Hire new maintenance.
and
do
Jeremy is
something.
one of the guys there that do a lot of great work. And
Jeremy is a
he is a
lifesaver.
really,
Yes, he is.
really good guy. And there are a couple other maintenance guys, and I get it. They're so busy, and things are really going on, and they can't keep up with everybody that isn't taking care and taking out their garbage and not, you know, sleeping in the laundry room or sleeping in the hallways, you know, and I get that. I do. But it's at the point where if they had cameras to catch these people, if they have, you know, some kind of system that'll go directly to the police force, and maybe it won't take them 45 minutes to get there, and by the time they get there it's all done and over with. And then when I did call them one time, there were guns outside and there were people fighting, and
We're dealing with more
they
important matters.
left, right? They went to the other side of the building, and the police shined their light directly at my window. Like, oh, it's you up there? Yeah, thanks for busting me out. Like, that's great. Now I have to really worry about my children.
Yeah, I don't think this summer, just this past summer was my first summer there. So like, that was my first summer experiencing it. I used to live like not even 2 blocks from the Arbors before I moved, and like I used to hear everything about the Arbors. Nothing good I've ever heard about the Arbors. Not one thing. But this past summer, especially with the shooting that happened, and everything that kind of any time my kids would hear like a bang, they thought it was a gun.
Yep.
It was, you know, and then for a while I just told him it's fireworks, don't worry about it. But I mean, my 12-year-old, he's 12, he's a teenager, he knows. And it's just, like I said, they're scared because of what happened this summer with the shooting and all that. And then this summer, like my kid was faced with like, it was a pellet gun, but point blank to his head. Like, and that's scary. Like that's not safe. And for everybody, I didn't even think guns were allowed on property. So like, and I understand no one cares about the rolls when you're
My son got shot with
Yeah.
a CO2 right on his hip
Yes.
after it was held to his head.
So,
and it
and-
left a big old welt.
I mean, and there's only so much the arbors can do themselves. They're humans. But the police force, I know they're trying, and I know they have a lot going on. But at the same time,
So does everybody else.
Well, yeah, exactly. But like at the same time, you guys, they need to be more on top of things. If I call, I know it takes a while, but I think there should be an officer at least there at night. At all
At
times.
least doing
At least
rounds
couple.
every 2 hours.
Yeah,
Not
like
just one, a couple.
from like 10 p.m. to maybe like 2 a.m. would be great because
But
then
then
No,
again,
it goes-
but then
it goes
again,
all night
until
long.
6 in the morning.
Yeah,
7
well,
o'clock,
yeah.
it's
Goes
still
all
bad
night
before the
long.
kids go to school. You're still seeing them in the hallways.
yeah, but at the same time, like with the shootings that have happened this summer, like that's a lot. That's a lot. And
The summer prior to that, it was nothing but block parties. And
So-
beer cans everywhere, glass broken everywhere.
that's what happened. This
That's
summer,
what,
too.
yeah, there was glass broken all over this.
It was pretty bad.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I definitely think the police force can step up. Like, the arbors, the management there is doing everything that they can do. And I'm so happy that
We got new
they got new management
Oh, yeah.
and the new
The new
management
manager is great. She's awesome. I love
and
her.
she's really doing
got a lot on her
everything
plate.
that they can do, and I really appreciate that. But I think the police force could do more, and I think we could get more help into the community. Like I said,
least
for that
consistency.
community,
Yeah.
Consistency.
Elaborate on what that looks
Just
like.
every 2 hours, just do a sweep through. Because, I mean, we can only do so much. If we have dogs, we can just go up and do it ourselves. But it's not enough. Because they can still come at us. And
Yeah, I carry a taser around when I've kicked people out of the boiler room. I don't know how many times, and I keep a taser on me.
I'm not allowed to have any of that. I'm not allowed to have mace or tasers. Or
I just use my voice and tell them to get the hell out.
You know, like
Sorry. Excuse me.
I usually went to my neighbor who would kick all of those people out, and now my neighbor is hardly there. So it makes me really nervous due to the fact that I don't have somebody right across the hall who is right across the hall,
the voice of reason.
and that's exactly it. Like, my apartment has cleaned up a lot. There's not a whole lot of people there. There's a couple people that cause a lot of garbage, leave the door open, and then these people get in. You know what I mean? And then it's garbage all over, clothes.
Somebody
terrible
took
boilies.
a crap in the laundry room
In the washer and dryers.
on the
At least in
floor,
my unit. It was in the washer in my unit.
and nobody picked it up. You know who picked it up? My dad, because I wasn't gonna do it, and nobody else was gonna do it.
I did it.
So
I hate to segue. I'm just trying to make sure we're respectful of everyone's time and the agenda. Before we get into the happy things that we want in the
Yes.
community, there is a big problem with food insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a pantry that is on site,
rude.
to be used on Tuesdays, 3:30 to 5.
Yeah, but we don't always get the same. We don't get a lot of food. I mean, and I know that has something to do. That has something to do with people, whoever brings it, if they have enough food. We don't get.
Brief interruption. Please also make sure you're talking directly into the mic when you're talking.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
We don't get a lot of the necessities. Like we don't get a lot of canned food. That usually lasts longer. Because if you can only go to one pantry and that pantry is only open on Tuesdays, I mean, we don't get a lot of meat. I mean, we get more like stuff that will expire within like 3 days.
or already is expired.
It's just we need more stuff that like is gonna last us, like shelf stable food, because and we do have CFM right by us, but that's expensive, so expensive.
So expensive.
Like, and I mean, I know it's a like
Corner store.
somebody owns it, and of course they're gonna jack up their prices.
That's the gas station next to you, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
the CFM.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know the full name for it.
I mean, it is convenient. Like he does, if you need something real quick, like right now, you go get it. Yeah, it's pricey, but if you need it, you need it.
It's not all healthy, but like,
No.
I mean, it works for when you got to get something right then and there. But I think with the pantry, we need more. We need more coming from it, is what we do need. And then even like when Life Care was here, it was great. People got their clothes. They were able to, get all the stuff that they needed when it comes to hygiene products, all that. That's great, but that only lasts from spring till October. So during the cold months, if somebody needs something,
We're screwed.
yeah, we're like stuck because not everybody has case management, not, and it's not like they can go to the office and ask them, hey, I mean, but it would help if we had more of that.
All right, so what service providers and events or people, organizations have been helpful in creating the community that you want and need?
Nexus Path has been great, like I
Yes,
said.
that's
Yeah,
one of my
Community
biggest-
Options has came in. There is an organization called Friends with the Children. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. My family was actually one of the first families that signed up for that. They're great, but the kid has to be 5 to sign up, and anything older, they can't take them. But it's great. They stay with them until they graduate high school. They have been great, wonderful. The Community Partner Day was great. I think we should do more of those, especially because it showed like that people cared about our community, wanted to come in and help our community.
And you can get along with people around there, and that's a nice feeling to have. Like
Yeah.
you can actually go out of your apartment and go join something that you can get along with people with. Like I had fun serving the food. Like that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, we like Life Care and Life Care Unites and a few other organizations do put on like dinners or whatever. Like we had the Thanksgiving one, that was great. Then we just recently had the Christmas one. We had to have it late, but we had it, and that was awesome. People were able to eat, and some people like I think we need to do more of like dinners or something because some of these kids don't eat at home after school ends, and they don't eat on weekends. And I know the school does their thing, but sometimes it's not enough. Like if we did more of the stuff that people would come in and actually help our community, just do something for us, make us feel welcome, make us feel like we matter, and that you care about us.
Maybe a place for the kids to go when the parents aren't waking up from when they get home from school, because that actually happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Kids were outside crying because their parents weren't opening the door. I'm just
Yep, that happens a lot
sad.
around there.
It's,
Any more to share about other projects or things that you feel would be motivational, keep things positive and going in that safe, happy, healthy direction?
I think there needs to be like more mentors for the children.
Yeah.
And like she was kind of just saying, just somebody that the kids can go to and talk. Like if they can't talk to their parents, like my kids can always come and talk to me, they know that, but they also, certain things they're like, hey mom, I don't want to talk to this with you. Like they just need that extra support, more mentors.
And even things for younger children, like I said, mine are 3 and 6 months old. Like she's gonna be crawling and walking soon, and I want her to be able to go to the
Live outside of
park
your apartment
and
without
be
stepping on
outside
glass
and
needles.
like I've put sharps containers in the hallways. They don't use them. I've put them up above children's reach. Once again, they still don't use them. And like they're, due to me working at Community Options, I do know about harm reduction apartments. You know what I mean? And that's a thing. It's a secured building. They have openings if, it's the same low income, it's housing based, it's, whatever. They supply food, they supply dinners, they supply toilet paper, whatever that they need is kind of the thing that happens there. I pull shifts there during the weekends. Now, like, if we could make a building something like that to get those other people away from the healthy families, that would definitely be another good thing. But that's a lot of moving around and a lot of work for management. I don't think that'll happen. But I mean, like if there's things and programs and events to happen for children and kids, and like the last event that happened, there were a bunch of people that came into the community, set up stands, and they were all throughout the apartments. And I felt okay enough to take my newborn and strap her to me and walk around and see what was going on, just because I knew that it was going to be an okay situation because the other people that are all on drugs didn't want to be out there. You know, they don't want to show their faces during that. You know what I mean? You know, and like that's a good thing that happened. You know, like I really feel that those people that come to our community and say that they're available for sources and resources is a good thing, and they could also maybe step in a little bit more. Now, like with the clothing thing, I do agree that it should go longer than it does, you know. Like I have plenty of resources where I could get things donated all the time there. You know, like there's a lot of thrift stores, there's a lot of places like Burlington that donate to nonprofits, you know, and it's obviously a nonprofit, you know, and I could definitely get that signed up for all of that. Like I have plenty of resources to do all of these things, but we have to have the time and the effort to put in to do these, you know, and I know that this wonderful lady over here definitely puts in the time and the effort to do all of that. But
It goes above and beyond.
you know, and I never thought we would make it this far. And I'm definitely glad we did. I just think that things need a little bit of tweaking. We need to do a little bit more things. The police need to have more involvement. And they need to stop shining lights in your windows when you call them, because that's very dangerous.
They definitely need more security, though. I cannot point that out enough.
Like security.
The doors need to be better fixed, like more secured. They are just prying open every single door they put on. Whether it's a brand new door that has more security onto it, they pry it open. And I know, but that's just the main thing. More security.
I mean, I agree. Cameras should be pointed at the doors. You know, just to see who's coming in and out and if they live there or not. I mean, I know you can't put a camera on every floor. That's pretty expensive, and I get that, and I'm okay with that.
Just the main doors.
Right, I'm okay with the main doors. But definitely more police interaction. Like, I like where I live. I like my apartment. I'm glad that I have it. I'm glad that the management is so willing to work with me, and they smile when I come in and they greet me, and they're wonderful people. You know, and that's amazing. We need to have wonderful people in the office, willing to work.
They've
with
been more. They engage more. Like the one office lady, forgot her name, but Crystal. Yeah, she actually engages with the community, which is great. And I know Marty does as well. Which
Marty's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Marty is great. But it's nice to have the office like acknowledge us like we're humans.
Yep.
You know, because a lot of people look at the arbors like we're
like it's a horrible
Yeah.
community. People don't need to go there. You're gonna get bed bugs, all this other nonsense, this and that. Like it's really talked down about. And then like I look at people and I'm like, I live there. You know, and like I work for a good company that is established in the community. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't care. I live there. You know, like what? You know, and being a single mom, like I need a place like that. I don't have the money to spend on doing things. Like I now have to bring my car in to get fixed. That's $600 that I don't have, you know, and I drive everywhere every day for my job. So, I mean, realistically, like this is not something that we're targeting the company itself about. It's something that needs to be done up by the police. The police need more reinforcement out there. And if we had that, especially in the summer, maybe I'd be able to go to bed before midnight and not wake up at 4 to somebody screaming and shots going off outside, you know, and that's just what it is. We're just really hoping for more reinforcement, and hopefully you guys can help provide that.
I'm not sure how much time we have left.
So got a few minutes left, and I also wanted to open it up to the rest of the commission if they asked any other questions for the group as well. Do any commissioners want to questions or anything?
Yeah. First of all, I really want to appreciate the residents from Arbors for coming here today. I appreciate the courage and bravery, you know, to come up and speak up. One question that I have has to do with the management. How accessible has been the management, and what has been their responses when you guys have these issues to talk about?
Well, with the new management, it's been great.
Okay.
We've only had new management for a
like
couple months now.
Yeah, 2 months. I think Andrea has been there in office. Since she's been in office, we get a lot better responses, and everything. She's actually handling a lot, and she's getting. I mean, it's gotten a lot better. Within just 2 months, it's gotten so much better. So she does her job, and she does it well.
I mean, and they respond very well to us. They help us as much as they can. Obviously with police reports and everything else, that's something that we have to do on our own. But they're super helpful. There's a lot of things that they're doing differently that wasn't done last year.
Thank you.
Like Tamba said, it takes a lot of courage to come here, and your voices are so valuable. So thank you for being here and sharing everything that you did with us today. And one thing, it's not a question, but more of something for us to think about. A lot of what you're sharing with us are symptoms of a root cause. And so how can we as a commission and a community tackle those root causes so then there's not these symptoms, and having Band-Aid resources available, but really cracking down on the root causes. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to add to some of the comments that we may have, I noticed within 2023 there has been 4 to 5 articles that have been reading about the arbors, ranging from safety to filthiness and stuff like that. And you guys also talk about the police not being very timely enough to respond to some of these issues. I think that's very concerning, and I just hope that the city can really work in ensuring that they give the attention that the arbors needs.
Thank you.
And so if you want to make any last comments, we'll try to go on to the next subject at about 12:50. So any last comments in 3 minutes?
I have nothing.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing us.
I'm proud of all of
Thank you. Thank you.
each one of you. And that is all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll look forward to continued conversations over the next few months on how we can work together to help that. Okay, thank you. Going on to the next item, staff updates. Do we have anything from Dr. Hogan or John Strand or anybody else? Not right now. Okay. Then we'll go into announcements. I wanted to say a couple things. We're going to try to have the next working session tentatively for February 9th. If people want to, we'll send out some emails in the next couple weeks to make sure that works. But that's what the next one will be. February 9th, looking at about 10 a.m. for that. And I guess we did set up some subcommittees in the last year. Was wondering if anybody maybe had any updates from their areas. No worries if you don't. Just want to check in.
I don't necessarily have an update, but we had talked before about having a community engagement event that the Education Outreach Committee is looking at doing it. But the one thing that I do want to say is one member who is of the commission who has been very active in housing issues is Sekou Sirleaf, and he has just become a member of the board of directors for the High Plains Housing.
Oh, great.
So I wanted to make that announcement for Sekou, who is not here today. But in the near future,
Did
we
Zoe
will.
also join that rank?
Yes, I've been on the board since April.
2 members on the board. That's great. Okay.
But in the near future, Carolyn Sekou, and I'm not sure exactly who else is on our Zoe's on our committee.
Okay.
We'll work on, first of all, we have to find a date if we're going to use this room. And not only that, participants. So that's all I have.
And then just to say it out loud, I guess the 3 that we have that we're going with are Education Awareness Committee, the Crisis Response Committee, and the Legislative Activities and Updates Committee. And I know that Tamba is on the legislative one, and I think you're trying to step into the role of chair as that subcommittee then currently. So we'll have some ongoing conversation about what that means for everyone. Okay, fair enough. That was my only other update I wanted to do. And then we will go into public comment. Those who wish to address the Human Rights Commission must use a sign-in sheet. Speakers must state their name and will be limited to, I think, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Comments should not contain profanity or personal attacks. Do we have anybody signed up?
And we do. Miss M. Christie.
I think. Perfect. Thank you, Em.
There we go. Hello. Hello. My name is M. Christie. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm a volunteer with Moorhead's Human Rights Commission. I'm a volunteer on the Outreach and Education Subcommittee. I've been in contact with Cody for a few months regarding gender in FM media, and when I stopped by today to put a face to the emails, he asked if I would provide an update on where our commissions are at with that collaboration. I'm really excited that the Moorhead and Fargo HRCs will be collaborating on advancing gender inclusivity in FM media. Using correct names and pronouns is not only a basic standard of civility, but in terms of news coverage, it's about making sure that information is accurate. To that end, we are working on a journalistic guide that will outline ways to use gender inclusive language, pronoun instruction, including the singular they, and names specifically regarding the trans community. The First Amendment is, of course, absolutely sacrosanct, but it is not right for media to get information wrong. And language violence, like misgenderings or using a person's dead name, lead to physical violence in the real world for many trans individuals, for people who are gender diverse. And it leads to a society that is collectively dehumanized by allowing that dehumanization of a group in that way. So I am pleased that we will be meeting in February to get that guide started. And I want to thank you for working with Moorhead's HRC to advance gender equity in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience with wish to speak to any public comment? No? Okay. All right, any other business? Hearing none, this meeting of the Human Rights Commission stands adjourned. Our next meeting of the Human Rights Commission is scheduled for February 21st at noon. Thank you, folks.